Okay, welcome back. You'll see that I put in some extra data into our database that we created. So if you want, please pause the video now and put in this data. Otherwise, we're going to move on. So I want to come into the design view again. We'll click on it, and I want to show you a few different things. One of the things is I can insert rows right into here, and I'm going to put a row that's called All-Star. And this row is just going to tell us whether they made the All-Star team or not. So our data type is just going to be a yes/no, because we can answer that question with a yes or a no. Then we're going to come down here and we're going to add one that's called points. And it's going to be a number value as before. And we're just going to go ahead and go back to datasheet view. And we want to save. And there we go. It's added our stuff. Now, I'm going to choose, even though these players all made the All-Star team, I'm just going to choose a couple of them, 3 of them, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put in points of, let's just say, we'll go 50, 25, 36, 14, and 23. Okay? So I now have 3 All-Stars and a list of points here. I need to come up here and I need to click the save button. Whenever you change something to the table, you need to make sure you click the save button, okay? So now that I have that and I have saved, I'm going to come into create and I'm going to choose a query. First, we're going to start with the query wizard. So I go ahead and open it. We're just going to do a simple query wizard. And I'm going to choose the last name. Going to choose the team, and I'm going to choose whether or not they're the All-Star. Okay, and I can choose all of these. I can choose one of these. I can choose as many as I want. I can change between tables and queries here to add different ones, but for right now we're just going to add these. So click next. I'll just do a detail view. Now I can change the name of the query right here, but I can also change it from the datasheet view, but I'm going to change it to All-Star. Okay, and I'm going to modify the query design because I don't want to show certain columns. So I will modify that. If I'm done, I could just open it and see the information. Actually, let's go ahead and open it just so we can. Alright, so there we go. We got last name, team name, All-Star. Okay, now I come over here, I go to home, choose my design view, and now this is the design view of the query. I can see my names, my teams, and my All-Star. So what I want to do is I only want the people that are All-Stars. So I put in an equals, and then I put in the value, which is either a yes or a no. So I choose a yes. Okay. So I come over here, I select run, and there you go. Now it just shows me the 3 guys that I had checked as yeses. But now we know they're all-stars, so we really don't need to see these checks, right? So we go back to design view. I can take the check right out of the show box, and I hit run, and there you go. Now I just see the last name and the team. Now let's go back into design view here, and let's say I want to sort by last name. I click my drop down. I have the choice of ascending or descending. Well, let's choose descending. Okay, so that means the closer to Z, so from Z to A. Alright, choose run again. There we go. We start with Howard, Durant, and Bryant, I'm sorry. Pretty simple, I think. I mean, it's not anything outrageous. So now what I've said in this query is, if I were asking you to do this, I would say, show me the player's last name and team for the players who were on the All-Star team. You know, and so you would take out All-Star. You use All-Star as your criteria. Only the ones that say yes. Okay. So let's go and do another query. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close this one. It will ask me if I want to save. I'll just choose yes. Anytime I want to go back and look at that one, I can double click right here. It opens it up and shows it to me exactly how I have it formatted. All right. This time we're going to use the query design. I seem to like this a little bit more because you have to go in there and change stuff anyway. So I come in here and it gives me this show table. Now I can do one of two ways. I can just click add here and close, and I can also drag from here. Okay, so there's two different ways. Now I don't need the same table in there twice, so I'll just remove it. Now from here I need to add my criteria. So the criteria we're going to do is I want a list of players whom are in the Eastern Conference and have more than 25 points. Okay, let's look at our table real quick. We know we have, let's do 24 points so that way we get 3 results. Okay, we have 3 people with more than 24 points. All right, so I would just want their last name, and the points, right? Oop, didn't drag it all the way down. There we go. But now I said they were only in the, did I say Eastern? Well, we'll go with Eastern Conference. Okay? So I do need the conference in there. Alright? But I don't want to show it. Because I don't need to see it. I know they're in the Eastern Conference. So, but because that is a bigger criteria than the points, we need to make sure that it gets moved. If it'll let me here. We'll move it in front of points. Okay? And you'll see why in just a second here. So we want to choose equals Eastern. Now, because this is actual text, we need to put our quotes in there. So we're telling it we want it to equal that exact phrase. And we want the points to be greater than. We'll say greater than or equal to. By just putting greater than and then equals, that says greater than or equal to 25. All right. So now, all I'm going to see is the last name and the points, but it's going to sort it first by conference and then by greater than or equal to 25 points. Okay? So click run, and there we go. We've got one guy in the Eastern Conference that has greater than or equal to 25 points because Dwight Howard only had 14. Now, if I go back into the design view of this, and let's say I change it to Western. Okay, I run it. Now I have 2 people because when we go back and look, obviously our 2 guys here in the Western Conference have greater than 25 points. All right. Now, the one thing this does not do is it does not give you the option, doesn't say, what do you want to save this as? Now, when I click the X, though, it will ask me, do I want to save? I choose yes. It gives me a name. We'll call this 25 points. How about that? Like I said, we can call it whatever we want. So there we go. Now we have 2 queries. We got 25 points in our All-Star query. So finally, we're going to create one last query. So I come up here and I'm going to choose query design. I'm going to add my table. I'm going to choose first name, jersey number, and team name. Now you remember that I left some blanks and this is why. Okay, so I'm going to take out first name. As you can see, I can just highlight the whole thing like this. Just choose delete. I want the last name. And as I come down here, I can place it right over top, and it just puts it right in its place. Okay? If you screw up, just something like that, real easy to fix. As you saw before, by taking this, I can move them. Oop. Gotta click in the right place, though. It's kind of finicky. I can move that over, and then I can always move it right back. Alright? So, but I want to choose, if I run this right now, you'll see that I show everybody. Alright? Now, I want to first take out everybody that does not have a jersey number. Alright? So let's go to design view. And as we saw before, I can do the greater than, equal to, greater than 1, greater than, 0, whatever, less than, unequal to, less than, regular, whatever. But I can also do this. That means is not equal to. Alright? Those two kind of cancel each other out. And now I'm saying is not equal to. And if I put a 0 right here, that means that anywhere that it's not equal to, it does not have a jersey number in there, it will come back. So I click run. And look, the two that didn't have jersey numbers are now gone. Okay, we can do the same thing with team. Put the same thing in there, not equal to 0. So that means any blanks are going away. And now we're left with just James and Bryant. Come back here and I can put them in ascending order by the last name. So Bryant goes first, then James. Okay? Again, we can just click here and we can save it. And we'll call this team jersey name. Not very original, I know, but okay. Alright, so now we have 3 queries right here that I can click on and 1 table, all in our week 5 database. Alright, the last thing we need to go over, you'll notice here I've left all this full screen for a reason. You'll notice our week 5 database right here. If I click over here and highlight it, you see that it's 340 kilobytes or KB. Alright, where it says size right there. One of the things that you need to do before you send it to me, send me your homework, is you'll need to go to File, and you'll see under Info there's Compact and Repair Database. Remember, we also saw it in Database Tools. I don't care which one you use, but either one will work. Okay? We can just click on this, and now our database has been compacted. And if we come over here to size again, highlight it and see, it went to 420 kilobytes actually. It actually went up in size. Normally it goes down, but because we have so little stuff, when we compacted it and repaired it, it actually went up a little bit in size. But that's okay. Alright. I also hadn't saved it since I created these last queries, so it could have been a little bit bigger. But because you're all putting in the same data, when you compact and repair, you should all be around the same size. If it's, some of you may not be exactly, but if someone has a very big database file, 1, it may not send it, and 2, I'll see that you didn't do that. Now, compact and repairing, I'm not really worried about you guys being able, I want you to know how to do it, and I want you to understand why you're doing it, to be able to send it to somebody or to, make sure that everything's correct. But it's more to make sure that you can send it to me than anything. If it says that the file size is too big, you probably haven't compacted and repaired the database yet. All right? So that's it for access. The other lecture will be on publisher. So if you have any questions on this or you are confused, please ask me. I know this is tough. This is something new for everybody. Really, all you need to know are the stuff that we went over today. So good luck.